Hey there, and welcome to my studio slash bedroom. In today's video, I am really excited to bring you along with me as I do a study of this Mary Blair concept art. But instead of painting it traditionally with gouache, which is the medium that Mary is most famous for, I decided to recreate this piece in Procreate. I think the translation process from traditional to digital art is just like so fascinating to me, and this piece especially, there's like so much bright, bold, beautiful colors. There's lots of juicy, yummy textures and really beautiful painterly strokes with layers and little details. Like, it is just seriously, like, the whole process was just a joy to create, and I did not want it to end. But without further ado, go ahead and grab yourself a drink, get cozy, and let's get into it. So if you don't know who Mary Blair is, get ready to fall in love, because I am so excited to tell you about this incredibly talented artist who worked with Disney in the 1940s and 1950s. She created incredible concept art for movies like Cinderella, Peter Pan, and the piece that I'm working on today, Alice in Wonderland. But probably her most iconic contribution to the Disney company is the Small World ride. She did the concept art for that entire ride, and literally, like, I call it the Mary Blair ride, because everywhere you look in that ride, it is Mary Blair's beautiful artwork, like floor to ceiling. Mary had this way of making things look playful and nostalgic, which is something that, like, I am always trying to strive for in my artwork. I feel like her art looks like what childhood feels like, if that even makes sense. I don't know if it does. Her dreamy, bold, perfectly flat look, like, that never tried to be realistic. And that's something I think about a lot as an artist. Like, how can I make my artwork have that unapologetically, imperfectly perfect look on purpose? I think there's something, like, really special about studying artists that we admire. Like, not to copy, but more so to understand what makes their work so special. Every time I do this, I feel like a bond or a connection to the artist that I'm studying, because I feel like I'm stepping into their process, or at least trying to step into their process, because I don't know what Mary's process was when she created this piece. I can only imagine and speculate what it was actually like. But I do feel like every time I do a study like this, it's like very much about the artist that I'm studying, but I end up learning something about my own style and, like, how I like to create as an artist. I also just wanted to do this piece because I felt like playing around. I've been very back into a digital art mood lately, and I think I know myself at least, but I think a lot of people go through different seasons of creativity. Like, sometimes I'm all about painting with, like, watercolor or gouache in a traditional sense, and I, like, literally won't touch my iPad for months. But then there's sometimes that I can't put my iPad down, and I feel like that season of, creating original artwork versus having more of, like, a time to learn and study and rest and recharge and not be producing your own artwork is just as valuable. And I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm in a season of study. Currently studying Disney stuff right now. I have been watching a lot of Disney movies and just, like, illustrating whatever I'm seeing. I don't know, maybe you saw my Turning Red drawing of Panda May, which I loved. But yeah, I've just been doing a lot of Disney related things. And that's why I decided to do this Mary Blair study, but, with a twist, like recreating it in a digital landscape versus, how Mary would have done it traditionally with gouache. So Mary Blair has this, like, deceptively simple style. Like, it looks really easy. It's like circles and squares, it's shapes, like how hard can that be? But then once you get into it, you start to realize how intentional every shape and color and everything is. Like, nothing is random. And I chose this piece specifically because, you know, even though I'd seen it hundreds of times, I only just realized that you can see her pencil sketches in it. Like, if you look closely, you kind of like zoom in, you could see all of her little sketches. Like, she didn't bother to erase. She was just like, this is what it is. And I love when artists leave their pencil marks in. I just like seeing I guess it's like their thought process. And once I realized that that was in this piece, I kind of started to like imagine how Mary created this piece. And it kind of like let me learn a little bit about how her brain was working when she made this. Like, if you look in the background, there's these like hilly, organic, flowy lines, and then they're juxtaposed with these like geometric, structured lines that make up the foreground. And like, that's something I never noticed before. Like I said, even though I've seen this piece hundreds of times and admired it, I never realized the shape language that she put into this. And I did not include the sketching process in this video, only because I feel like I have been creating a lot of sketching content lately, but I will insert the time lapse here. And if you like want more sketching tips, you can definitely check out these two videos. I will link them in the video description or maybe at the end of the video. We'll see. But the main part that I was so excited about for this piece was like the color blocking, because it is so vibrant and very gorgeous. And even better, in like a digital landscape, I was able to like up the vibrancy and make it even more saturated because, you know, like, I don't have just RGB, I got CMYK working for me, so that was really fun. But yeah, I'm not going for like an exact replica, especially since my aspect ratio was a little bit different than her original piece. But I did want it to have that same like playful feeling, more so the feeling when I was creating it than the end result, like what it looked like. Because I'm always focused on having fun while creating my art, and this piece did not disappoint. Sometimes I like stop and record my reflections and feelings as like a little video diary to myself. And I actually did that a few times throughout this process. Once after I finished the sketch, I was like on a high. I was feeling so good. And I reflected on how much fun I had during this piece. And then also while I was painting the base layer, I stopped and I captured a little bit of the energy that I was feeling when I was painting this. And I love that. I love that about creating, like how it can literally recharge you and energize you. And I wish I could like bottle up that feeling when I'm not in the mood to create or paint. I just feel blah and I'm like, what should I draw? What should I paint? And I don't want to do anything. That's when I go back to my little library of like video diaries, and I just like pop open a video like this and just get incredibly energized and reminded of how excited I am to like make things. So I think that's really cool. Honestly, like this whole piece made me think a lot about why I make art. Like, there's so much pressure to have your own original voice, and while I do believe that is important, I think we forget that voice comes from influence. Like, we can learn a lot by absorbing the things that we love. And sometimes, especially when you're feeling stuck, it's okay to like borrow somebody else's magic for a little while. Like, I don't want to steal Mary Blair's magic, but I would like to inhabit it for just a little bit, just a few hours on a Saturday afternoon while I did this piece. And I just wanted to see what Mary could teach me, and try and like recreate it with my own hands. And doing that, it made me feel so much closer to her and like her specific brand of magic. Because like I said, I always come out the other side having learned something about myself in this process of studying another artist's work. Mary Blair, like, she reminded me how much I love play and boldness and childlike wonder, and honestly, like, how valid those things are in adult life. Like, you don't have to grow out of believing in magic. If you want, you can hold on to it well into your adult life. Just, be warned, some people may think you're weird and or call you a Disney adult and tell you to grow up. But I think, whatever, that's a really small price to pay for how alive and amazing I feel when I practice magic. And I feel that sounds so dramatic, but like, that's kind of how I feel when I'm making art. Like, I feel like I'm tapped into something that like I can't quite explain. And I always look down at my sketchbook or my canvas and I'm like, oh my God, like, did I make this? Like, that came out of me, or was it this whole time? And making art is just something that it connects me to something bigger than I don't know what it is, but yeah. So if you're feeling creatively blocked, maybe try something like this. Like, pick a piece you love, maybe an artist you admire, and recreate it. Like, give yourself permission to get lost in it, and just allow yourself to feel that like pure, unadulterated joy. So yes, we're coming near the end, and I just have to say that like I am so stoked on how this piece turned out. Like, is it perfect? Definitely not. Is it an exact replica of her piece? No, not even close. But it's like it was never about that. It was more so about getting closer to like the spirit of someone who inspires me, and letting Mary's magic, coax something out of me personally and like bring it into my own artwork. And I hope that sharing this process with you, like, you feel encouraged and supported to give yourself the permission to just try things, if for any other reason than they just feel fun. Like, you don't always have to be pushing yourself to be this like grand, amazing artist. Like, play and fun, and just a fun way to spend a Saturday or any day of the week, like, that's enough. That's like more than enough. If you do end up doing your own study of a favorite artist, please tag me in it. I go by the same name over on Instagram at SamAkerArtMaker, and I would love to see your art. I would just love to see whatever you're into, because I'm here for it. And if you want to just like doodle something while you watch this video, or recreate the same piece, like, more power to you. I'm here for you. I'd love to see it. And yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Keep creating, keep exploring, and I will see you in the next video.